Good morning. I hope you guys are having a good start to your Monday. I wanted to share a little bit of my heart with you and what I have been learning through my journey of flexing your brave and how the Lord has brought it to me to share with you. And I want to start out with this that you are God's good idea. No matter what you are going through, what your trials are, God thought you were good. He doesn't make junk. You are His good idea, and He has a plan for you. I want to read a couple verses over you. I want you to think about them as I read them, and just put yourself in that and tell yourself that this is how the Lord sees me. And the first verse is Romans 12:2, and it says, "Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by renewing your mind. And then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good and pleasing perfect will." And the next verse is 2 Timothy 1-7. "For the Spirit of God gave us, does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." And the last one I want to leave with you is Philippians 4:8. It says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, noble, right, pure, whatever is lovely, admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on such things." And as I go through part of my story of what I have dealt with, I want to let you know that the Lord put you here for a reason. He put you in a time and space where He meant you for a time such as this. And what you are doing, if you're in a waiting season, He's just telling you to pick up that rest and to leave the wait. I don't think of the waiting room as how you normally spell it. I think of, you lift the heavy weight. And when you're in the waiting room, He wants you to put it down. So you are His good idea. And I want to tell you a little bit of my story. I have dealt with a lot of trauma in my life, little traumas that grew to be overloading myself. And I lived in what our brain, in our emotional brain, called the limbic system. And it just overwhelmed me. I have cerebral palsy that I've dealt with all of my life. And that made my life challenging at the beginning. I didn't feel like I could do things, and it was challenging to me. So instead of getting all of that out in my expressing it to people, expressing it to my family, I hid it inside. And when my body didn't work right, I punished it. I hid it, I just harmed it enough because that's all I knew. And when it wouldn't work, when these sides wouldn't work, it made me frustrated and I couldn't tell anybody. I thought that I was being a good Christian and not, those were unacceptable. And it was a little bit of, I had shame on me because here I grew up in a Christian home and that wasn't supposed to be how you did it. But no one else could understand why my body wasn't working. And that was difficult. So I expressed my feelings by taking it out on myself, hitting myself, making marks on myself until I bruised. I was careful enough not to let it be shown, but it did. And it seemed like every time that I thought that I got a hold of it, and the devil just kept on bringing it back up. Okay, so this situation didn't work out right. This situation didn't come to where I thought. So all of the overloading of myself in my brain and not renewing how to think of what is right, what is true, I let the devil take that into my thoughts, and he started to overload in how I was thinking. I would find myself in this emotional mess, like a ball full of knots in everything that I did. And once I thought that I had it under control, and I was like, oh, I could do it. He kept bringing that back up. And you think you get it all done, all the knots out, and you're patient enough, but you look back and see that there's still a big ball of tangles. And when I thought that I was free enough, thought that I had everything under control, like, hey, okay, I'm getting this. No, every little trauma that I put myself in, that I put on myself because I wasn't bold enough to tell my family how I was thinking or anybody. I kept it all to myself. Oh, that's not acceptable. That's good Christian girls don't do that. And it came to when, people say, things come in threes. And for me, in the late 90s, things did happen in threes. And all of the trauma that I had from my cerebral palsy, of my body not working like I thought it should, and me punishing it because it wasn't working right. My mom got breast cancer while she was in her second bout of cancer, and going through chemo and stuff. And then right in the middle of her rest between chemo and taking another round, my dad had a heart attack. So we dealt with that. And I always questioned why. I took it I didn't take it to the Lord like I should have, and how I dealt with all of those. I hated when my mom used to tell me, okay, we need to talk. And so I would yell and scream. And instead of bringing it to the Lord, I brought it to him in anger. I was mad. I was sad. You know how I used to say, the good, bad, and the ugly. Well, I had a lot of ugly and a lot of bad that I put on myself because I wouldn't let myself take that emotional to him. I was drowning in myself. I was drowning in myself, and the devil was like, oh yeah, I got her. I got her again. And within that whole year of the late 90s, it was mom got her second bout of breast cancer. Dad had a heart attack. And then a few months later, my grandma found out that she had breast cancer. So, all to say that within that year, I had my support system was broken and they needed help. And I was drowning in my own self. And I want to read 1 Corinthians 9:24-26. And it says, do you not know that in the race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way to get a prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like man, running aimlessly. I do not fight like a man beating the air. And in this race that I was running, I had to look at the long view. I've been running a marathon, and he had me go through those bumps in the road of having that trauma come on me to say, realize, Carla, come to me with all of your burdens. Come and take it to me instead of taking it upon yourself to harm yourself. Come to the altar. Bring it to my cross and be free. And it's been a marathon. It's been 19 years that I stayed in that shell of myself, of hurting myself, and things didn't go right. When I had pain, I wanted to take off my leg. I've had pain in my leg, and I've done things to myself that the Lord wouldn't have ever wanted on me. But I overloaded my emotional brain, my limbic system, that it overtook my body. And all of the pain that I have dealt with truly manifested in all of the little traumas that I had between My mom getting cancer, my dad having a heart attack, my grandma finding out that she had breast cancer also. And with each pile of things, he added a weight. The devil added a weight. Let's see how far I can get her down. But I want you to think about what God says about you. What does he say? What is true? You are a daughter. You are a son. You are chosen. You are lovely. He has made you for a purpose. Come to him, and he will give you that rest. He will take that weight. Take the weight off of your shoulders. Take that backpack of weight that I had carried for 18 years. And I finally decided that I needed to be free of that. So don't conform to this world. We are not of this world. God is the God of the long view. He is not in a hurry. Our time here on earth is not his time. We always want things in a hurry, but the Lord is the Lord of the long view. So if you are going through a trial right now, don't think that he has forgotten you. He has not forgotten you. Run the long race, run the marathon. And if you can not run, walk. One step at a time. And you will never walk alone. He's always beside you. And to find that community within God that will help. And if you want to, I can be that community for you. I would love to walk alongside and share my journey with you as we go alongside, because I don't do it like anybody else. And you have a story, but the stories don't end here with your trial. There is something else waiting for you. And all you have to do is ask. Fall to your knees and say, Lord, here I am. Take me. Help. Find that place. I hope you guys have a great day. And don't forget to flex your brave.